Welcome to Rick and Dave's Comic Book Hour. I'm Rick.
And I gotta say, Rick, it's good to see you. But Dave, the operation came out great!
It sure did, didn't it?
Wow, I am so impressed.
Thank you.
Dave, you've never looked better.
It's a dream come true for him.
I bet. So basically, no one would ever let him touch her, and so he just, got a set of his own, or what?
Right.
Okay. We probably can't put that part on. So. And this is the way it's going to be the whole episode, or as you like to say, issue. But, yeah, on any given day, I'm liable to say who knows what, because in here, there are no rules.
It's like Vegas.
Okay.
It's like Vegas.
Yeah. And
what happens at Tom's place stays at Tom's place.
Pretty much, yeah.
Did Marvel's diversity help you at all? Sell books or bring anybody new in?
Here's the thing, and there are. I mean, I do have.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it
certain people who really like the fact that there are superheroes who look like them. I mean, that's something that never happened. It used to be just a bunch of white guys and a few white girls. And seeing Hispanics and Asians and people of color, as I think we call them now, and of all colors, not just one. I do know a lot of my customers, do appreciate that it's like, hey, look, it's not just about them anymore. It's us. It is inclusive. What I think most people, including some of those people, were saying was, I want mine to have their own identity, not someone else's. Yes, now, Ms. Marvel, who is one of the most popular, nobody else was Ms. Marvel at that time. That was a name that was going to waste anyway. They made her Ms. Marvel, and she's great. That's a great book, which, at least in here, does not sell that well, but I'm telling you, it's good stories, a great character. I really like her. Some of the other characters, one of the ones that boggled everybody's mind was when they turned Falcon into Captain America. Falcon already had a very full history, and for him to just abandon it to become Captain America, now I understand there's a quality there, but it just didn't seem right, and I'm very happy to see that he is going to be Falcon again as part of this line. He, goes back to that name and that tradition. But all in all, I think the diversity has been good. The way they did it has been bad. And I would think a big company like Marvel, especially now that they're owned by Disney, would understand the phrase branding. And when you have a brand, people want that brand. New Coke didn't work because it didn't taste right, and they thought that's what the people wanted, and it turns out they didn't, and Old Coke came back. And there's been other things like that. The people want to see the same person or the same character who's in the movies is also in the comic books. So they want Tony Stark, who's Iron Man in the movies, to be the character in the comics. They want Steve Rogers. They want Peter Parker. That is the brand. You don't see someone other than Clark Kent be Superman. There is a new Superman book that has, a whole group of people who are Asian, who are some of the characters, including a Superman. That's one thing, but they are not trying to replace. And I think in the long run it hurt them. Marvel has come out and said that people stop buying their books because of the diversity. That isn't true. The diversity isn't what hurt their books. What hurt their books were bad stories, bad artwork, and inconsistencies. And that's just the way it is. If Marvel could get back to producing coherent stories that people care about and characters that they care about, their sales would increase tremendously. But everybody over at Marvel wants to tell a story, a 6-issue story arc, and then once they've told it, they leave, and we're stuck with whatever happened there, and they don't have what's issue 7. You know, they don't know where to go with it from there. I've said, and this may sound, I don't know, maybe people will argue with me. I assume people will argue with me about everything I'm saying here. DC tells stories. Marvel is in it to make money. And that's what it seems like. Marvel is doing things like a big blockbuster that gets people's attention and makes headlines, that Thor's a woman. Iron Man is a young black lady. That gets people to come in to buy that issue or that story arc. But it doesn't keep them coming back. They buy that issue because it's, wow. Well, that's not good for sales. What you want is repeat. You know, a good movie doesn't live by the first weekend. If everybody comes in and buys one ticket that first weekend, wow, it's a blockbuster, but the second weekend, nobody comes back. If it's a good movie, they're going to come back 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. And that's what makes it a seller. The same way with a comic. You can't just sell one issue and then keep producing the book and nobody's buying it. And it's hurting us because comic shops are the only place you have to get your comics now. It is the only outlet Marvel and DC and so many other companies have. And if they are doing things that are technically hurting comic shops, they're hurting themselves and they just don't realize it. So think about 5 years ago, wherever you're at. I don't know how wide this is viewed, but wherever you're at, think about how many comic shops there were in your area. And think about how many are there now. And I can almost guarantee you there's less. Because they're killing us. I'll get off my soapbox now.